Okay, I figured out my key to success. Now I'm locked in. I learned how to open doors like a locksmith.
Welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Wherever it is you might be tuning in from, we're on the mats here at the Next Element Academy in Myrtle Beach. You're now locked in with DK and Atwood. I'm Atwood, the killer to my left, DK, and then the other killer to the far left. We're joined today by somewhat of a local legend in the MMA scene, I'd say. Yep. Everybody seems to know who this guy is. 18 years old when he first started fighting. 32 total fights, 20 wins, 12 defeats, ranging from bantamweight to welterweight. Crazy. And a brown belt under DK here. And, one of the pro fighters here at the Academy. The Prophet, Mr. Jeremiah Scott.
Yeah. Woo, we can put up. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do the applause. We'll edit that in. So let's just start from the beginning. You told me you first started fighting when you were 18. When did you first start training, and what discipline?
I started at 14 years old, and I started in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Shane Briggs. He was a black belt under Helson Gracie. So
right on.
Ever at Kingston Plantation. Back in 2009.
Right on. So, what made you want to start training?
Well, I've always been into sports. If it was just like on a birthday, throwing on gloves with all the friends and just beating the living crap at each other, that was something that I enjoyed doing growing up. Me and my brother and sister, we used to, pull each other's hair and beat the crap out of each other all the time. So I just enjoyed always. Just
so how'd you find it though? Like, was it like your parents or?
Yeah. Well, actually, Chuck Liddell was on TV one day in the house. My dad was watching. It was just UFC, old school UFC. Chuck Liddell, of course, overhand rights. I remember that was like one of the first time I'd ever seen it, and my dad was just like, I remember being like, "Man, we got to get you into that. Like, that's something we got to do," And I was, I was like, absolutely, I love that. Let's go do it. And they found some classes here in Myrtle Beach with Shane at Kingston, and.
Yeah, Shane's an OG, man. So for people that don't know, Shane's in Myrtle Beach you had a few guys that were kind of trained, jiu-jitsu and self-defense stuff. And a lot of people were under the Helson Gracie banner and kind of spread apart after that. There were three main guys during that time frame. And Shane was one of the guys, man, he's just continued with it for so long, I think now he's in Little River. He's got a gym called, Legion?
Yeah, Legion.
Oh, that's right down the street from my dad's house. It's over there by the drawbridge.
Yep. I used to train there for a few years.
Right on.
That was where I got my purple belt. I was like 19. I was 19 when I got my purple belt.
Wow.
I actually, just throw this in there. I fought I think it was my third amateur fight, and I hit a 4-chain submission combo. Like, I went like guillotine to triangle to armbar to stood up to a rolling knee bar, and I hit that in the first round. It was crazy, and after I hit that, I remember he was losing it. You know what I mean? If you're a coach in jiu-jitsu, especially back then, and your student hits that,
right?
I got my purple belt immediately. I walked out there and went to the gym, got spanked by like 30 dudes. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
They line you up, start beating you with it. So that was how I got my purple belt back then.
That's cool.
So, what time frame would that have been? Like, what year?
I was 19. I don't know, like.
So how old are you now?
29.
29
okay,
years
you're
old.
A little bit younger.
Wow. So we subtract 9 years off of the 3, and I don't know where we're at.
I was gonna let you take it away from there. I was like, oh man, he's doing math. No, I'm out.
I was probably like 20.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 20, I believe.
I know jiu-jitsu didn't really come to South Carolina until like when? Like 2000.
What, jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu or
like
MMA?
MMA later because it wasn't legal. But like jiu-jitsu, it wasn't very big.
No.
Until
I moved to South Carolina in 2007, and there was like
nothing.
There's nothing, man.
Was there Fitness Edge then?
No.
No.
Okay. You had the dojo. The dojo, which is actually used to be in our like down
the dojo. That's right. Yeah.
I think that was
Mo.
Yep.
Mo. That was Mo.
And that's where Tebow got started, Nissen Osterneck. And then when it started breaking up, that's when I think Fitness Edge was started because I think Nissen was looking for a place, so he got with Mike and did something there. But anyways,
I've seen that dude fight.
Nissen.
Yeah, he was
Nissen.
good.
Nissen's an OG as well.
Nissen was really good.
He was going to be a Helson black belt, but I guess he didn't want to go through the self defense aspect of it. But
Yeah, and I feel like the Helson Gracie platform back then, Helson was like just a way for people to like know that if that name was on a jiu-jitsu school back then, people would want to go
because of Gracie, the last name.
But
yeah.
I was actually talking about it a couple of weeks ago that he would charge schools like $500 a month just to have that logo in the gym. Yeah. So it was kind of like
affiliation
like a
fee.
scam, you know,
business.
It's a lot of gyms do that. I know. I know that's kind of like what they do around. I don't know what 10th Planet charges nowadays, but I know he's got like 1,000 schools, and so to use that name because it's a way to market people that don't really know, you know. So like with us, we don't really have an affiliation, so we don't have a bigger name. Yes, I'm a black belt on Kurt, but you know I wasn't going to put Kurt Pellegrino's name on our on the gym. You know what I'm saying? And then having to pay him.
Yeah.
So you know I was just like, man, the next out like this is my name, but not necessarily right. Like this is a representation. Yeah. And it's a representation of the academy. So that way, when somebody's like fighting, they're not representing somebody's name. They're actually representing the brand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I like that way better though. You know, I like the independent style. Like make it like start your thing. You know,
start your thing, and you know if it's worth it, you know you'll if you're the man, it's going to continue to go forth and do well, and you know, and then you'll build your brand. That's yours. You know, nobody can take that from you. You know what I'm saying? So,
and you're the man.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, sir.
You are too.
Hey, thank you guys for having me on here, man.
Hey, appreciate you coming on, dude.
We're locked in right now.
Locked in, bro.
First guest.
First
so
guest.
This is cool. We've been waiting on this. In terms of your career, you fought. Well, we were talking about this before we started. Dana White's the first ever, right?
Yeah.
Dana White's
first pro fight. So first pro
that was
fight.
your first pro fight.
First pro fight.
Yeah, man, they did me good, right? Gosh, I had bright lights on me, people cussing me out. Dana White,
and you
Holyfield.
took that fight on how many weeks' notice?
Sorry. I took that on. I think I only had like a 6 week fight camp for that. I did actually just fought probably 5 weeks before that, so I was kind of in fight mode, I guess you'd say. But I was by no means.
I was at your last amateur fight, by the way. That's how we met. We met first time. Yeah,
I was wearing a double-sided mouthpiece for that fight because they were saying that I had to do that in Georgia.
I remember that.
Oh wow,
dude.
really?
I remember the double-sided
to
mouthpiece.
breathe?
Hey, you know what, guys? Check this out. Because I've for years been like, man, I was an idiot because they didn't make you. You would go to the cage and they wouldn't have said anything, right? But they said I had to do it, so I did do it. So, John Jones, if you watch the UFC, I saw the other day, his first UFC fight, he was wearing a double-sided mouthpiece, and I think that I heard because it was because of the state that UFC was in. But yeah, he didn't have braces or anything, but he was wearing a double-sided mouthpiece. So
Wow.
At least John Jones did it too. So, and he's a legend. So, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, my pictures and stuff, I don't even use that much because it just looks like I have a big block.
It was in Macon, Georgia, dude. That was a cool venue too. By the way, that was a really good event.
They had the upstairs area.
Yeah. So and then
too.
it was pretty packed. It was a conflict show, and Luis Pena fought on that card as well. You remember that, Luis Pena? Luis Pena fought. He was a pro, so he fought later on in the card, but he fought for conflict in that arena before, and then went on to UFC, and then he was supposed to be at the XMMA show.
Yep.
But I think something happened with that. But anyways, that was the first night I met Jay-Z, and then afterwards we go out to downtown Macon, and we go out to this country bar.
I was about to say, what is there in downtown Macon, bro?
Dude, it was actually pretty hopping down there, man. We were in this this bar down in Macon, Georgia, and this guy, man, he's like, how old were you then?
I was 21. Yeah,
just
I was 21
turned 21 because you could drink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
21.
Wow.
Yep. So he was brand new 21, and man, we were. I was the oldest guy out of all of us. I think Cody Jones was there, Will Newsom.
Yep.
one other person.
So, question: if that was when you guys
Walker?
first met,
It wasn't Walker. I don't think.
Well, Walker showed up to that fight. Yeah.
It was Walker.
Yep.
It was Walker.
Because Walker, well,
Yep.
I'm not even going to talk about what Walker was doing after the fight. You remember?
that sounds like a
Jesus
good story off camera.
Yeah, it's wild. And then, Jay-Z, the next thing I know, he's upstairs up around this corner. He's sitting with these people's family, eating their food off of their plate and everything. And this lady's mom is loving it.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Eating it
They were
up.
trying to get me to go out with their daughter or something. They were
Yeah.
like, that's my daughter. Sit right there. I was like, yeah. I just started eating her chips and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, I just got a big win.
And then next thing you know, they're kicking him out. He's
Got kicked out?
You definitely got
Doesn't
kicked
even
out,
remember.
man.
Well, it's happened.
There was a big wedding party that showed up. Remember?
Oh, man.
That big
dude,
wedding
you're taking me
party.
down memory lane right now. I
Big
remember
wedding
that.
party showed up. Man, this is the first time I've thought about this. Big wedding party showed up, and they were in. We ended up. Jay-Z had to sit outside for a little bit, and they were like, "They just kicked Jay-Z out." I'm like, "What?" And so we had to go outside for a little bit. We almost got cops called on us that night.
Yeah. And isn't that the place where they had the DJ in the truck? There was like a DJ stand inside of a monster truck or something
I
like that.
remember that. Yeah.
Maybe it was a different
But
place.
you could get food in the back. Remember that? You could order a food in the back of the. It was wild,
I'm just
man.
going to say, I think I was pretty hammered.
But
the whole
anyways,
time after
yeah,
that fight.
yeah.
So like,
He was-
I remember buying.
We all were for sure. That was.
We were laying. I was laying in the middle of the road at Waffle House. That was like the end of it.
And you
Jeez.
guys,
I just remember there was
yeah.
like cars passing. Like that was the end.
Yeah, yeah.
We just ate Waffle House and like somebody picked me off the ground or something.
Yeah, it
What
was
a-
bad.
what a night.
What a night. Yeah, and then your pro debut. You're in front of Dana White. The fight after that. So
Yeah.
Fast forward 2 months roughly, and you're in front of. Did he come in the back or anything and talk to you or anything? Because for people just watching, Jay-Z was on the pilot episode of Finding a Fight.
Dana White.
Dana White's
Dana
looking
White's
for a
looking for a fight.
Yeah, then he had Matt Serra. He had somebody else with him
It was
in the
Matt
beginning.
Serra, Holyfield, and Dana White.
Okay.
They all flew into Atlanta, and the promotion out in Atlanta hit me up because they knew that I was training under one of Matt Serra's black belts here in Myrtle Beach. So they knew that if Matt Serra was coming here affiliating with the UFC, having someone that was a black belt underneath him, that would, bring some hype to it. It would have them have a relationship with the fight. So it just made the fight that much more exciting. They didn't announce that they were going to be doing the Dana White looking for a fight or having Dana, Matt Serra, Holyfield there until literally the day of weigh-in. So I'm there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm there thinking I'm
had
about
no
to just
clue,
make my
huh?
no clue at all. I just was there making my pro debut. That right there, my pro debut, my whole life's been dedicated to this. That's already a lot. Wow. So then that's going on. And then you get there and find out Dana White's there to be there to watch your fight, and Matt Serra's with him. So, and my career's been like up and down, man. Like I have an honest career. I've been through a lot, and I've had a good handful of coaches, and it's kind of been hard to like believe in me a lot of the times because fighting is one of the most hardest things I've ever done in my life. And I would say that my coaches at the time, they didn't have a whole lot of belief in me to go there and show up and do what I was doing. And then when they find out that the Dana White's going to be there, his coach is going to be there watching me. I mean, I feel like they kind of had a lot of pressure on them, and they were nervous about me blowing it and all that backlashing on them as coaches.
Yeah.
So I felt that in the back and stuff. It was just a hard fight, man. It was really the hardest fight I think I've ever had in my life. But it was that fight that ignited that fire in me and made me realize what it takes, what I'm going to have to do to find that person to be able to win fights, to say, I don't care about this feeling of I'm nervous or that I'm never going to allow that feeling to rob me from the skill and the knowledge that I've learned over the years. I will go out there and perform at my best,
Yeah.
Because
That mental block, it's a factor, man. I know.
It's the biggest
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
It's the
I know.
biggest one.
I mean, I've been there. I've thought about somebody, right hand or getting knocked out, or and the fight hasn't even happened, so you're just making up stuff,
anything
in your head,
And,
then
I've literally
it's
done this
just like,
before. Like, what am I thinking about right now? Why am I thinking about that? And you were huge in that part of my career where you're like, you focus on winning. You will be in the back and you're like, you visualize your hand up, And I'll be like, yeah. And the next thing you know, I see my my head just get rocked. I'm that's
yeah.
the opposite of what my coach just said me to do.
And I know, and that's why, like, when I am in the back, dude, I'm trying to remind these guys, like, feed the good wolf. And so there's an old, Indian tale of this, I don't know the story too exactly. I need to read it out of a book, obviously, but it's an Indian tale, and it talks about, older Indian and little kid or whatever, and they're going hunting or whatever, and the kid doesn't think he can get the kill, or he doesn't think that he can do anything, and he's like, son, that's the feeding the bad wolf. The bad wolf doesn't want you to get that kill, doesn't want you to get that food on your family's plate. We want to feed the good wolf inside you that wants to feed your family and wants to do all these great things and knows that they have the capability of doing these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, that good wolf is just that person in your head, that's going to keep feeding you good things in your head, and doing good things for you, So it's like you go to these thoughts, and if you keep feeding the good wolf, meaning keep saying bad things, that's just giving that good wolf more fuel and energy, right?
Oh, the wolf is the bad
bad thoughts.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, the bad wolf is the bad thoughts. The good wolf is what you want to keep feeding the good thoughts to.
Okay.
So I have to get the book. It probably don't make much sense, but I have to. I found it.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean,
of course it does.
No, it does. I was thinking we just got deep, dude. That was dope.
It's just wild, man. It's just, the more we think about bad shit, the more we think about bad thoughts. Yeah. It just starts this never-ending thing.
It's like a snowball effect.
So we think about what? We might think about yes, it definitely is a snowball effect. It all compounds on each other. We think about getting knocked out. After we think about getting knocked out, what do we think about? What the people in the crowd are going to think. Yep. The people on the social media are going to think. Yep. What post are you going to post about saying afterwards to make an excuse for yourself for losing, right? Because that's the only thing you're doing is making an excuse for yourself of why you can bow out from the fight before it even happens. I've done that. I've been there. I've thought in my head, man, what if I don't win this fight? What am I going to tell people? What am I going to say to you? And then you look for all the opportunities that could rob you to losing the fight, whether it's mental, whether you had a lot of stuff going on in your family. And I know that can play a factor, right? Like stuff going on in your life, outside of your life, can play a huge factor in MMA, So it's just, I know how it gets tough, man. It's tough up there in the mental.
Well, that stuff that you were talking about, the stuff that goes on in your day-to-day life, that to me is the stuff that fuels me and makes me want to be anything in life. It just doesn't have to be fight related. It could be business related, family related. The things that go on in your life are ultimately the reasons why you become and do the things you want in life,
100%.
So, and that's what I've been using for my last two fights, because I've been going through some just wild stuff in my life, we all do, but I feel like that's a big factor in why I've won my last two fights like I have, because I've seen and felt what's going on, and I've not let it rob me. Like I was saying, all right, this is going to be, I'm getting ready to bite down on my mouthpiece, and it's kill or be killed. And I'm not going to, I'm going all in tonight.
Yeah. And that's the way it has to be, and sometimes we rob ourselves sometimes of that, and
it's the worst feeling in the world.
We get there, and especially it's like you're looking across the ring and you're like, oh man.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Isn't that the worst?
It's the worst feeling in the world when you're like,
I'm
about to lose this fight.
I can right now see a couple opponents that I've fought, and I remember this feeling. I see when they're walking, and I'm like, I just remember this feeling of, oh no. I am not right. I'm not
ready.
I'm looking at my coaches like, yeah.
Oh, and
man.
you gotta put this hard face on, like,
I got this.
Yeah, what? Oh, it's on, big boy.
Oh my gosh, man. Put the front on.
You gotta put the front on.
Hey man, at least for the fans. At least for the fans, bro.
Gotta peacock a little bit and stuff.
So tell us a little bit about the difference now. between preparing for fights and thinking of your why, right, in your career, and now how has that changed that you have a baby girl?
Wow, the baby girl thing is huge, man. You know, the slip ups in my life are like, I have to be home every night. I have to take care of my kid. You know what I mean? I still slip up every now and then, but the why's a lot bigger. I can't allow myself to do the things I did once before because it's not about me anymore. Being a dad is one of the biggest and most amazing things I've ever witnessed. When my little girl looks at me, or the other day she was laying in my bed and she was just taking a nap, and I saw her just randomly, like, she picked her head up, looked over at me, and was just kind of like, hey, what are you doing over there? And crawled over to me on the bed and then put her head down on my chest.
Oh, man.
And it was like that feeling that only a dad can feel. And I just was like, man, I said out loud when I was over there, I was like, I love you so much. You know, like, I can't let her down. And I've messed up a lot.
You're the
in my
example,
life.
you know. Now.
Dude, I'm everything she's got, you know, my mom and my sister, you know, but like when she looks at me and stuff, like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like I can't allow anybody or anything to rob me being a great father and stuff. So I don't know that.
I literally told them, bro. I literally told them.
I know exactly what you're feeling. You're like, sometimes it'd be like, what the? They gonna rob you. But yeah, being a dad has definitely helped me become a better, bigger man, and it makes me to make sure I stay on track and not slip up, which slipping up happens.
It's easy, man.
It's so
the
easy to
devil,
slip
you know.
up.
It's very easy, man. Trust me. Me and you met me. I was a wild man.
Oh yeah.
You know, at the beginning, dude, when Jay-Z met me, I was like on a killer win streak. I was like the top fighter in South Carolina, North and South Carolina, in 2 weight classes. I was winning. I was pro fighter of the year for Conflict, and I was just, man, I was feeling on top of the world, you know. And Jay-Z hit me up. He was like, hey, man, he was like, you know, after his first pro fight, and I remember it, you know, I think you messaged me on Facebook.
I somehow got your phone number. You're like, how'd you
maybe
get my number? I felt like he was like, yo, why were you hitting me up? I was like, sorry, man, my boy gave it to me. You were not.
Dude,
really
I don't
cool
remember
about
that day. And he was telling me about the situation, you know, going on at the fight with his old coaches and different things like that, and how it was just awkward, and it didn't seem like what he was telling me. It's like his coaches weren't there for him. You know what I'm saying? They weren't trying to make him feel better. Me as a coach now, and when I was a fighter, I always wanted people to talk to me and make me feel good and be around me. I'd hated whenever I'd be in the back. It's like, you know, everybody wants to go watch the fights, right? Like, people want to watch the fights. I like watching fights too, but when you got a fighter that's, man, they're in the back stressing out. Unless they're asleep, they don't want to be alone. You know, I didn't want to be alone. I didn't like being alone. I liked having a coach there or a friend around or something like that, because like we were talking about last week, you know, the intimate stuff, you know, the intimate jiu-jitsu is intimate, and it's like, you know, it can make you think crazy thoughts, and I can see when somebody's like about to lose it.
Oh yeah,
you know,
I can too.
And so it's just a good thing to have somebody back there with you as well.
Right.
I agree. It's it's comforting. You know,
Well, nobody wants to feel like they're going to war alone.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
so
when at the end of the day, it is you in the cage, right? But like,
for sure,
leading up to it, I'm sure that's when the thoughts are the craziest.
Yeah,
I you know, me and Jay-Z, you know, got together. I started helping him out and stuff, and then next thing you know, his next fight, we were fighting on the same card, and we go up to Jersey together. You know, we barely, dude, we didn't know each other that long, and he went with me for a week. We went to New Jersey to train with Kurt, and we stayed in a friend of mine's apartment and stuff right down the road from the gym. So I mean, we were training 2 or 3 times a day. You know, Jay-Z was going through an ankle injury at that time. That was from his last fight or the fight before that.
one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was from a fight.
Yeah, and so he was dealing with ankle injury. Had to come back and get a cortisone shot. For that.
Dude, I still think about that. It still bothers me, and that was 7 years ago. Yeah. That thing has been killing me, man. It's from throwing improper leg kicks, separating my foot from my leg.
Yeah. and that sucked.
Dang.
That killed me. It kind of ruined my training up in Jersey with you, dude, because it affected, like, my ankle was killing me. And we were training, like you said, twice to 3 times a day. And you're like, I don't want to hear you about your ankle. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you are.
I was like, dude. I'm like, he's a young kid. You know, he's only 21 at the time. You know, so I was like, dude.
No, but it was a serious. It was still talking about it. It was very serious.
And then took him up to Hoboken. He trained with my old boxing coach.
Yeah, that was cool. Mickey.
And then we went to New York City. Walked around New York City for a little bit.
Yep.
That was wild, man. I forget we like went to the city and went
you met with all your boys out there?
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a few of them or something.
Yeah, a few of my friends from
the food's so
Jersey
good
and
out in
stuff.
New York,
Yeah.
man. I
want to go back.
I'll be there one day.
But yeah, man. So it's been a while. It's been a long career. Now, how many pro fights are you in?
I don't know. I think I have like close to 20 pro fights.
Okay. MMA?
Between MMA, boxing, and Muay Thai.
Okay. Cool. And then your last fight, we'll just go ahead and
go ahead.
talk
Take
about
us away,
this.
man. Yeah.
Your last fight, Atlanta, and what was the name of that promotion again?
K2S Combat.
K2S Combat.
About this.
So, anyways, we went down to Atlanta. Jay-Z got an offer for $100,000 Grand Prix.
Grand Prix, man.
So, for people that don't know what a Grand Prix is, a Grand Prix back in the day is they used to do it in one night for Pride. They would do, 8 tournament, right? So it'd be like if you fight, you win, you go on to the next.
That was
fight.
like Pride rules, right?
That was like Pride rules back in Japan. They used to do that, and the old UFC used to be that way, but it wasn't called a Grand Prix, right? So they have these Grand Prix, and then the winner of the Grand Prix gets a big bonus, gets a big payday, right? Well, nowadays, usually they do it over a span of fights, and we talked about this in one of the podcasts, but they do it over a span of fights, and at the end of the term, the winner gets a total of the $100,000 bonus, right? Which is still a big payday.
And that's just a bonus.
No, that's your pay, but it's just like without being held to a contract, they tell you, like in the Ultimate Fighter, they tell you win $100,000 contract. That's a contract over so many fights.
So it's $100K for what you would have gotten paid for the entire Grand Prix.
Exactly.
All right.
They just pull it out of that 100K.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like his first fight, he were going to make like $6,000 roughly, somewhere around in there. And so, how was everything? So your original opponent, something happened with that?
Yeah. I don't know if I should be throwing any names or anything.
No, you don't have to
No,
talk
you don't have to
about
throw
any
names,
names. But
Well, he did. There was something that happened, which this happens all the time in the fight game. Fights fall out. You get a new opponent. I'd had a crazy camp for this fight, man. I mean, I trained nearly every day. So when it did happen, they sent me another name. I signed the contract because I was like, I don't care who it is, I'm ready. But with the original opponent I had, they had some medical issues, and he literally sent back on his blood work. He changed a few of the numbers on the blood work and sent it back, and the commission found the numbers.
I didn't know
in
that part.
Yeah, man. I talked to him in the back about it. They talked about how they switched the numbers up on it, and it's not even in concrete yet what the punishment is going to be, like how long his suspension is going to be, because that's a serious thing, dude. You got to think you're not just messing with the fight game. That's a doctor's. That's a doctor's.
that's somebody's life and everything,
yeah,
man.
and
Like,
that's
and
insurance.
what were the numbers for? You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
know
Was it
nothing
like-
about this. I said, you changed what?
That's
are you
what he
doing?
said?
Yeah, he told me he did that because I was like, come on, were you on steroids? And he was like, no, all I did was change some numbers. And then I'm like, wait, you changed some numbers? Like, wait, what's in your blood? Why? Because, I've got my blood work changed a week out from a fight. There's a way to get things done.
So I'm glad you brought he was changing. So I was in New Jersey. When I fought in New Jersey, you have to go through the New Jersey Athletic Commission, and you go to one place. All the fighters go to one place to do everything. It's a really cool process how they have it set up. They pay for your MRI and stuff like that. So it's not like out of pocket, Well, anyways, the blood work you pay for, my blood work came back abnormal because I'm partially anemic. So like my red blood cell count, right? It's usually, when I say partially anemic, I'm on the decimal point below normal, below the low.
Okay.
Low, normally it's like 4.7 to whatever. I'm at a 4.6 as far as being anemic. during that time frame, I was also thinking that red meat was bad for you. So I was only eating chicken and fish and greens. Red meat's high in iron.
Mm-hmm.
Iron helps boost your red blood cells, which also carry oxygen, so I was doing myself a disservice, actually, because oxygen fuels your muscles. Anyways, came back that I had abnormal blood work, right? So I'm like, what in the heck? You know, they thought that I was coming off of a cycle of steroids.
Huh.
Yep. Because sometimes when you're coming off a cycle, your blood work can be abnormal, I guess. You know, so they wanted me to test again. Told them, you know, that I have, you know, anemic issues, you know, and different things like that. And so I had to get retested. Nothing ever happened, but that's kind of crazy.
Well, don't you think that, like, since he didn't try to get his blood work done a week before, because like I said, I've done this a handful of times. I've got my stuff last minute stuff, like, oh my gosh, I got to get my stuff together.
Yeah.
I called up doctors and stuff.
I would have just
Don't
done
you
another
think
one.
though it's possible that he was on something? If you changed your numbers on your blood work, what did you do?
Yes.
Something happened and
Yes.
no one's knowing what's going on. I don't even know what a suspension is yet, but
That's got to be.
I've never heard of that happening ever.
Yeah.
And
I
changing
haven't.
some numbers, you better not do that.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it's
I've
gotta
heard
be
it
like forging
sending.
you know,
Dude,
obviously you're forging a document, like
Dude, a
medical document.
doctor's.
Yeah,
doctors,
exactly.
Dude, like, you can't play around with that.
Yeah.
So that opponent got suspended a week out, right?
Yes,
A week
and one of
out,
the
man.
other Grand Prix
Jeez.
fighters, his opponent in the
Fell
Grand
out,
Prix
too.
fell out. So they got two new people to fill in the Grand Prix, and they put me and the other guy together. So his opponent had some suspension or something. My opponent did, so they just put us together.
Right.
It was a little bit different of a matchup. It was actually a good bit different. He was like a good bit taller than the other guy. He was like
but
6'2".
he definitely wanted to say. We thought, anyways.
Same kind of grappling aspect.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't much of a change up. He was just longer and wormier. But I mean, it really didn't change much.
He definitely had a different style of jiu-jitsu too. Like he had a funky style of jiu-jitsu.
high guard because he had really long
He would
legs.
he would try to
Rubber
do some
guard.
rubber guard stuff. And so I was like, man, if you don't really know how to deal with rubber guard, it can catch you. It can mess
You got to
you
have
up,
your
man.
really good
Yeah.
frames in a rubber
Yeah,
guard. You know what I mean? If you
yeah.
got
Head's
laxy
gotta be
daisy
center.
arms,
Head's got to be center line.
And that
Like
neck.
you got to be right up underneath their chin. You can push.
which
their
I feel
face
like
away.
we were in that fight, dude. I had my forehead all up. The little bit we did before I
Yeah,
got judo
yeah.
tossed from. bro. Hey, I wanted to talk about when we were inside. I watched the video and I can hear. I don't know if when you play this that we'll be able to hear him. In
Oh yeah,
this
there won't be
one.
any audio.
Like,
Okay,
take
all
his back, take his
well,
back,
no,
take-
no, no. Like, I did a lot of my fight camp here. I was focusing on keeping my head on the inside of the neck because he wants to try to grab me and take me down. If you have my head up in his neck, he's not gonna have a. It's not gonna be an easy day to get me on the ground.
Yes.
If my head is in your neck and I'm getting my underhooks and I'm working my forearms, you're not gonna take me
Lower
down.
man wins that battle. Yeah.
He, while I'm doing it was for a little bit before he judo tossed me and we got back to our feet. DK's saying like, you got your knees right there. Right elbow, right elbow, right elbow, right elbow. And like, I was thinking of what he's saying it, and you're kind of saying like, right elbow, right elbow, right elbow. I just said right elbow. Why aren't you doing it? Why are you not doing the elbow when the elbow's there? I was like, because in my mind, I was trying to think it did look like I could have threw a right elbow, but at the same time, I'm trying to be very cautious of getting called over, like him taking my back zone, because I could feel he was trying to get underneath an arm, get an underhook. So I was just like forehead in on that neck, but I was laughing because I could hear you like knee, right elbow, the right elbow, the elbow, the right elbow. And yo, if you know Derek, all right, because Derek's coached me many of times, jiu-jitsu, MMA. I know Derek, and I've been cornering with Derek. Derek is the type of dude like the right hand. I just said though the right hand was there. You know what I'm saying? And usually it's like, it really would have worked. But when you're in there and you're fighting, it's what he sees.
It happens
right.
fast.
Yeah.
Where he's at, it's
So fast, milliseconds. Man.
yeah, it's
You don't
like
even really remember being there.
yeah, man, it
blur.
happens so fast. You're in that tunnel vision. You know what I'm saying? So like, you remember Quantum Leap, the old TV show Quantum Leap, where they
Goes
go,
into other people's body.
yeah, or he'd like go through to another dimension or something like that.
Yeah.
And when it shoots off, or man, that's like what it is. You can just see what's happening in front of you, but everything around you is so blurry and hazy until you've been in so many fights, right? And then you can like
Yeah, slows down a little
kinda
bit.
slows down a little bit. But yeah, man, I was saying that because there was a guy like before. Remember, we were sitting up in the crowd, we were like watching the fights and stuff, and that guy was landing right elbows, left.
Bro, that
and
one was
right,
that was an awesome
dude.
fight.
And so I was like, holy crap! So I was thinking back. I'm like, right elbow,
It
right
looked
elbow.
like that, and
It
I was
did,
even
right?
thinking of that. But like when I was watching it, I was like, it looked like that same position. Like,
Yeah,
it would
but
have been
that
there.
guy was planning that, right? Like he would get in tight and then he'd separate and throw the right elbow.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different when that's in your game plan already from the rip and just trying to do it on spur of the moment, you know? So it's a little bit harder, but yeah.
Well, we have the fight here.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's break it down.
Walk out.
Hey, all right. So if you'll see me here, you'll see me pick up double fingers right now. I flip off the whole crowd, and it's because my boy Justin here made me a walkout song, and they start playing "Let's Go, Let's Go."
Sure, they play Trick Daddy.
And you know, I'm kind of mad, but I said, you know what? I don't even like this promotion. They messed my walkout song up. If you look, nobody's there, and I don't know, man. The
Man,
promotion,
the venue was sick. The venue was
was.
sick, but the way they didn't promote the fight the way they should, man. I mean, there's no reason there was only 100 there was like 100 people there. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely more than 100 people, but I'm just saying.
And I think they had like D4L do like the
So-
intermission show.
that was Shody
Rapping?
Lowe Jr.
Oh,
Shorty
really?
Lowe's
Oh, okay.
son, I guess. There you go. He finally
So-
turns the
he
turns
turned
the
my
song
walkout
up.
song. Then I was like, turn that shit up. I was
Yeah,
like, that's it right there.
and so we're trying to get Jay-Z's.
I see a Next Element, or I saw a Next Element shirt there. Must have had some guys from this.
Yeah, that's
area.
actually
There's
Donovan
and
his brother Jackson and Tyler. His dad's there. We had actually a good little crew come out from the Next Element Academy.
yeah. I mean, that's a 6-hour drive, man.
Yeah.
There was a hair on my mouthpiece right there. Nick tried to put it in, and I looked at it. It was
Is that
like
what
hanging
happened?
Up. Yeah,
I
he
was
was hanging off.
wondering.
So I was like, "Yo, man, come on, bro!" I had to like shake it off.
Yeah,
He didn't
my
see it,
man
though.
right here doing the stuff.
Uh-huh.
He's
grease?
been around. Yeah, he used to do Valor fights. He's usually up in Tennessee. Usually.
Yeah, let's go ahead and say it though. His breath smelled like ass.
Oh man. Man, I've seen that guy trashed.
He's
Trash.
probably trashed the night before. Dude.
He's-
Like,
yeah, I've seen him
There you go,
like,
bro. Brush your teeth.
trash, man. So a lot of people will do hugs and crap like that before they go in. We don't do that here, with any of the fighters. Really, we don't hug. I mean, it's
right
like
here,
well,
I told, I said, "Yo, mom and daddy, it's time to get to work. It's game time, baby."
I mean, the venue's sick. Look at the venue.
Can we
like,
talk about the announcer?
Oh man,
The guy
he was
looks like
dancing.
Hawk.
Did you see him dancing?
God of War,
You
I
didn't see
think.
No.
when people would be walking out. He would be in the center, kind of,
Dancing?
dancing, man, like ridiculously dancing, like.
Man. I saw his face. I was like, at first I was like, I kind of dig it. I've never seen that before.
He did a pretty good job. He was really butthurt. He was really butthurt about me in my song. I had an announcer. It's your fault. You put it in there. But
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I think his name's Big Mo, something like that. But
Daughter.
baby girl, she seems a little angry.
Yeah,
My daughter seems angry right now. That's okay. Daddy will be over there soon,
but
honey.
dude, his opponent was weird, man. The whole time he'd walk around the fight,
40?
the venue,
Okay.
the whole time just acting weird, man. Just,
Yeah, he was weird.
Well,
He was trying to offer
and,
me
and
a
they'll see it in a
soda.
second, but I remember, and I think a commentator even mentioned it. Whenever he's doing the announcing, he's like sitting up on the cage. I was like,
Dude,
man,
yeah.
that's like trying to be like a Charles Crazy Horse.
Yeah,
Yes,
I kind of liked it a little bit.
dude.
Yeah,
did you
I mean,
train
they-
with
I-
Crazy Horse?
I did not.
Yeah,
I did
Crazy
not train
Horse
with Crazy
came
Horse.
to Myrtle Beach and
Oh, really?
trained at Fitness Edge for a little bit. Yeah,
That dude is a character.
he's a
man.
wild guy, man. Wild dude. Just hearing his story, man, is just insane. He's got like 8 other siblings.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
I think different baby daddies.
Man.
Your daughter.
My girl,
I'm glad it's not my
Healthy
son.
lungs, man.
my little girl is.
She got a
crying.
passy in there.
She's,
Passy?
no, she don't. We don't like to give her a passy.
Yeah, I don't like that. Give it
That
either.
baby stuff.
That baby stuff.
we don't get no passes.
Pass
around
fire.
here.
We don't do no pass fires. But my man here was called
CJ,
Ground Shark.
the ground shark.
And so he'd walk around and he'd pull his mouth open like he's showing his I guess, his
Shark teeth.
Shark teeth.
Yeah, I was stalking him. Right
Oh,
there.
yeah, you
I was
just
even talking
followed
to him
him.
too. I was like, "Oh, that talk's done now,
Dude,
bud."
the way his face and the way he looked, it looked like he was crazy.
Yeah, I saw he
Where
was
he
kind of like doing a
looked
thing
down.
where
He
he
was
like
a
picks
very
up.
strange dude, man.
Very
Like, he was very
strange
weird.
guy, man.
He was very, very weird.
Like he reminded me of Hannibal Lecter, the way he was like walking and looking out of his side of his face like he was going to eat you, and the way he pulled his mouth open like that. He'll probably do it when they announce him. Who knows? I don't remember this.
Yeah, man, I was really.
So what
I
you
was-
thinking here?
I was about to say it, man. I was ready. I was first off right here. I said, "Y'all come over here, real man, cameraman." Didn't follow me up, but I said, "These are my sponsors, and this is home, baby, and we about to get to work." This is what I am very confident right now. I remember this walking here, and I felt like I was about to bring it. I really did, and I usually don't always feel that. But I knew that, like, when I get punched right now, I'm gonna be ready to be punched. When I get in front of this dude, he's gonna have his hands full.
How many times
This
have you
is-
practiced this in the mirror?
I did this years ago. This is my signature
really?
thing here. When they start calling my name out, first off, I hear the ring announcers. They always say, "Dude, thank you so much for that stuff." And I didn't do it for them really, but I found out it made their job better as well when they
It
start
kinda
calling my
hypes
name.
him up.
Yeah,
Look at his
man,
little mini banner. Dude, that was the first thing I saw. His mom rolls out, and it's got this little mini banner on, and there's like tassel
Yeah.
on the edges.
His mom
here.
did not like me.
No, she didn't.
She was very upset
I'm
about
assuming that's his mom.
That's his mom. Yeah, that's her baby boy right there.
because,
and I put
like,
a baby spanking on him, and she did not like me.
And here I'm
much.
thinking, you know how many times I've seen people blow their knees out jumping off the top of cages like
Right,
that?
yep.
Man. So I was just like, please don't blow your knee out.
Yeah.
Please
or
don't
roll
blow
your
knee out.
ankle. I rolled my ankle before it fights.
Yeah, man.
You know
and
me.
jumping off the top of cage.
Jumped
Oh,
off the ropes when
Yes.
I knocked 3D out. I
Yes.
jumped off the ropes and rolled my ankle. It still hurts to this day.
So this dude we saw him crawling into the center and practicing it.
Yeah,
I think
and this
10
is,
times.
Y'all guys told me he was going to probably crawl out. So in my mind, I said, you know what? If he's going to meet me in the middle, I'm about to sprint at him.
Yes.
So that made him want to stand up quick.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, I'm not going to
Yeah.
deal on my hands. I might get kneed in the face or something. He throws a good head kick right here, but it just clacked me in the top of my head. It really didn't bother me
Where
much.
you,
but it
you
made
weren't
a noise.
expecting the high
I was
kick?
not.
Yeah. I wasn't
And-
expecting him to kick much either.
No.
And I wasn't expecting him to do as much striking as he did. Honestly, I thought he was going to try to clinch into you and pull you.
This is where, so watch. This is where DK's like, all right, give me some knees. Give me some knees. All right, the right elbow. The right elbow. The right elbow. The elbow right now. And I was just, look, you see him. He grabs my head right here. Boom. He does the judo toss. Boom. So I turn my hips over immediately.
Yeah, I'm saying backdoor, backdoor, backdoor,
Yeah,
backdoor.
that's where the
take his
left,
back,
you
take
see
his
my
back,
left
take his back.
arm. I have the underhook. He's trying to straight arm bar me here.
Yeah.
But I got my elbow back. I was thinking, let's don't wear myself out trying to get a takedown. I push him away. Boom. I wipe my nose. I see I'm bleeding. I said, now it's game time. So this is where I know that, all right, now I got the shakes out. It's time to start getting busy.
Yeah, I think from there he was like, "Oh crap, he's in a fight." You know what I'm saying? He's like, that.
He
Especially
felt
on
I
the
was-
inside kicks, dude. A lot of
laid on
people
him.
don't know, but there's a nerve runs on the inside of your leg.
Boom. I crack him with the right hand right there. He started wobbling. I said, let me hit him in the leg again. He does for a
Shoots, good stuff. Knee.
right knee.
Bang.
Boom.
Sat him down. The ref, I was getting ready to crack him with that one, dude. I
Yeah.
remember his chin. I can see his face right now when I'm talking about it. His eyes weren't looking at me.
Yeah, they were
and I
up.
was about to take my right hand and hit his jaw and put it on the floor. But the ref came over and kind of just brushed me off to the side.
This is a pay per view. I think that they might show a replay here in a second. Here we go.
Cool.
Oh.
Another thing with the promotion, they didn't provide stands for the film crew.
Boom.
So they had
I
the
was
film
just thinking that. So,
So
they're
you'll
filming
see
through
right
the
here.
fence.
This is what starts it. I go
right hand.
block, right
Boom.
hand. Now
See,
he's
wobbled.
wobbled. I crack him with a low kick. I crack him with another low kick. He switches his stance. He goes for the takedown. Stuff. Right knee. Shove. Boom. Then that
Jay-Z
one was-
loves that right hand.
Man, I've hurt a
Sure.
bunch of
And
of
it was
people.
right on a button, dude,
Yeah,
man.
it
It was
was.
like right there.
Yeah.
It was a good stoppage, but I wish you'd let me get one more. My right hand is actually still hurt from that fight, man.
Oh, really?
I've broke my hand in 2 different places.
Yeah. We got a
years
couple.
ago.
He got a fight offer already, and it's just, it's not where
I'm
it
going
needs
to
to
take
be.
some just a little bit of time off to get it right.
So,
Right.
anyways, after this fight happens, you win, obviously,
Yeah.
and then we wait around for what?
The
The promoter, yes?
They said the promoter says, they're like, all right, go get the checkbook out. And the promoter says, oh, I left the checkbook at the hotel room.
What?
And
kind of
so
business?
you said, Justin, you said that. I'm like, it's quiet back there. I'm like, what do you mean, where's the checkbook? Like, no one's saying nothing. And I'm a loud person, right? So I'm in the back. I was like, all right, it's been long enough. Where's the checks? You know what I'm saying? Like, we get back there. He starts doing. I'm like, all right, yeah. So you owed me 3 and 3. That's 6 plus gas. Just make it 6,200. And he's like, all right, writes it out. And I go get some pizza that night. I guess chill. I hadn't drank in 10 weeks, so I got a killer buzz that night. Anyways, the next day we're on the way back home. It's like a 5.5 hour drive back.
Yeah.
I get
So,
called halfway back.
He tells it that happened very quick. It was an hour. Hours after the fight was over.
It took hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to wait on him to come back for a while. Me and all the fighters are in the back just standing around waiting.
Yeah.
It was a very
all pro
awkward.
show, so a lot of fighters. Man, we
Yeah.
that baby's killing it.
Yeah, I bet Megan's sweating.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just awkward. Usually, like the way a professional show should go is that when I walk out the cage, like I've had a bunch of them do this. It's either an envelope of cash or they just write you a check right then and there
And hand it to you right when you're coming out, man.
Right
That's
when
the
you're
best
coming out.
thing.
Man.
Or they hand it to your coach. It's like, hey, give this to so-and-so. But usually they make you sign for it. But
Yep.
Dang.
So, but this one was different, man. They said that they left the checkbooks at the hotel.
And so then
Crazy.
the next day,
So
you're
the
on the way
next
home,
day,
6-hour drive,
The promoter,
feeling like you're about to
the promoter
cash
does this. The promoter does this. This is when you know you're in trouble. My friend, call me. My friend. I don't even know what this guy looks like. I never even got to see what this promoter looked like. Still don't know what this dude looks like. I call him. I'm like, "What's up, man?" He's like, man, we're waiting on some sales to come back from the pay-per-view buys. So please don't go cash that check until Wednesday." I'm like, "Yo, this sounds sketchy." I'm on the phone. I'm like, "This sounds sketch," and he's like, "No, it's not sketch. It's not sketch at all, man." And I'm like, "Yo, like, well, I just want to let you know, like, I'm a single father." And I did exactly everything I told you I was going to do. I went to that conference. I told that guy I'm going to find your chin. And I showed up and I gave everyone. I walked around that ring and I said, everybody's going to get their money's worth today. And I cracked that dude. I give you everything, dude. I do this stuff because I'm a father. I have to take care of my kids. So I was like, I know you're saying this, but I said, I need my money. I'm sorry, but I want my money, man.
Yeah, man.
And he's like, oh, you're going to get your money. Wednesday comes, or no, late Tuesday comes. Hey, bro, call me. I call him. I say, what's good, man? He's like, nothing's good, man. I'm like,
Oh, no.
I'm like, yo, man, like, what do you mean nothing's good? And he's like, yo, man, my main investor fell out, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, man, like, I know that you're trying to say all this stuff to me, and I feel for you, man, because, like, at the end of the day, I got a good heart. But, you know, like, this is not my fault. None of this is my fault. And I did my job, and I put my life on the line out there, so, like, somebody's going to have to pay me. I'm still waiting to get paid. That fight was about a month ago. I got paid $3,500. It took about a couple weeks for me to get it. I got $3,500, and I'm still waiting on $2,700.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. Like, I trained so hard for that. I had babysitters watching my kid. I had to, the food, the gas, the coaches, the payment of coaches. You know, I ended up barely coming out on top and still waiting on my money. Like, I don't know, man. It's a really, really shitty feeling knowing you do all that and not get taken care of. You know, I got robbed.
So-
I got robbed.
Yeah,
He
and
stole from me.
And you're thinking, after the fight, you're like, yes,
Big cash, baby.
big
I literally, I'm like, we get paid today.
yes, drinks on me.
Everybody's getting a bonus.
Yo, when I'd be taking care of everybody when I'm winning, man. But
Bro.
anyways, you know, it's like it's tough, man. It's so disheartening. It's like, I've never personally haven't had that happen to me in an MMA fight. I know numerous people that it's happened to.
That was my first time happening to me.
Yeah.
I thought I was never going to happen to me. I was like, man, I got
Me
this.
and Walker are before, like, the show's not, we're sitting in this big giant arena and we're like,
Yeah.
we're talking about it, dude. Me and Walker's like, I don't think they're gonna have another show after this one. And so he's thinking, man, $100,000, especially after a win. You're like thinking you're the next step, the next fight. He thought the next fight was in Houston. They were going to continue with this thing, and I'm like, okay, we're going to Houston, I guess. Like, how are they going to pay for all the plane tickets? So yeah, man. So dude, that's got to be, it's so rough, and so, but a good thing out of it though. Lesson learned.
Yep. And
your hand is, we got to have time for the hand heal too, so we can do bigger things for that too. So it's like, if he would have been forced to jump right into a training camp.
Didn't you wrap my hands?
Yeah.
So I think for the
and I
sake
wrapped the right one good too, man, because
well, I'd say it to you. I was like, you remember my hand, right? He's wrapping that thing up. I don't know. I cracked him, dude, hard. His hand's never going to be the same after that Korean.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. I broke my hand all on his forehead, bro.
Yeah. We had a fight in Baltimore for Shogun. So, this Korean guy, he dropped down to his knees or whatever to do a shot or something. And Jay-Z kind of punched him on the top of the head.
Right in the forehead. Snapped both my
broke
knuckles.
his hand. That's the first round.
My right pinky
first
and
round.
my index.
Yeah.
Just
first
destroyed it. It's never been the same, bro.
First round.
Well, for the sake of the camera battery here, we'll go ahead and end it. But I think we definitely need to have Jay-Z on again because I feel like there's so much more to his story that we could talk about as well. And then for the future of Jay-Z's career.
Dude, this was awesome.
Yeah,
we appreciate you coming, man.
Dude, thank you guys for having me, man.
Yeah,
anytime.
And we're cutting it short too. Is like our babies they were born on the same. Our babies were born on the same day, actually. So it's like they're giving Megan a handful right now.
There, dude.
Since Jay-Z's the guest, you want to tell people where they can find you and
I mean, you guys, if you guys want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram. Of course, you look up Jeremiah Scott, the Prophet MMA. On Facebook. I'm always posting, it's these guys. I'm always on social media. I'm a fun dude to watch, keep up with me between marine construction and training and being a dad and stuff. So if you're looking for someone fun to watch and to keep up to date with my fight career, because listen here, we're just getting started, man. I feel like I'm just now stepping into my true manhood as a fighter. So you guys stay tuned, and the UFC and One Championships is on the goal. I'm not done looking for that. So that's what we want, and I want to represent this gym the right way. If you need a good gym to train at and be around dudes that are going to make you better and find something out about yourself, you need to come check out the Next Element Academy here in Myrtle Beach, 38th Avenue.
Ooh, dude.
Nice.
DK.
What a plug, man.
Hey, man.
You want to tell them what they can do, DK?
Like, subscribe, comment on YouTube, on the comment section, please.
Yeah. Let us know who you want to see.
Yeah. Follow us on Instagram as well, Locked In with DKA. And yeah, man, just we're going to continue to put these out every week. And, this is number, man, dude, you guys don't know this.
Yeah, I don't even know, bro.
But I think we've dropped 4 episodes so far. 3 or 4?
Yeah. So this one
will come out later. But yeah, man, we're going to continually do this. It's fun.
Yeah, man. With that being said, appreciate you, Jeremiah, DK, as always. Thank you guys for tuning in. Till next time.
We're out.